Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Ryan. This is Nicholas and Kenneth. We've heard some great presentations so far, but sitting in these chairs for a couple hours is going to wear you out, so we brought some coffee. It is very hot. Just keep that in mind. The blend that we're serving you right here is a honey-processed Costa Rican light roast. It's a great afternoon coffee. You'll notice some earthy tones, a sweet aftertaste, and it lacks the bitterness that many coffees have. The three of us traveled the world together to the four corners of the earth for 5 months, drinking coffee along the way. When we got back, we began to reimagine the impact that coffee could have on local and global community. And thus, Four Corners Roasting Company was born. Now we're celebrating coffee and creating community. We're an Orange County startup hand roasting coffee in small batches. These beans will contribute to the $48 billion American coffee industry, of which our target segment controls 51%. We're confident in our business because of the passion of our team, the quality of our product, our focus on community, and the local demand for specialty coffee. So now many of you have had a chance to taste our coffee. Is it good? Awesome, great, glad to hear that. We're catering to the growing demand for specialty coffee and artisan products. Do any of you guys drink craft beer? We got a couple. Have any of you ever shopped on Etsy for a handmade item? And what about, have you ever noticed that like a restaurant that you eat at has their products locally sourced? So this is what we're offering. Our price point is competitive, but our selling point is intensely unique. We are going to offer 10% of our sales as charitable donations to local and global initiatives. Compare this with the 1 to 5% that most companies give of their profit. Now that Nick's joined me back up front, I'm going to hand it off to him.
Today alone, 45 million people drink specialty coffee. This $48 billion industry is projected to grow at a 3% compounded annual rate over the next 3 years. The specialty market coffee segment of this industry grew 11% from 2011 to 2014. Let's put this in perspective. If we capture 0.1% of the specialty coffee market, our revenue will be $2.5 million. We recognize there are some significant brands already out there. Our most direct competitor will be Delta Cafe Roasting Company, an artisan roasting company out of Fountain Valley that delivers B2B and B2C. Taking a step back from that are places like Coffee Tomo, a roaster here in Irvine that does artisan coffee but sells out of a brick and mortar storefront. Indirectly, large convenience coffee chains such as Starbucks and Peet's Coffee will compete with our company. Finally, brands such as Folgers and Nestle will compete with us indirectly as add-on items to the routine grocery run. Above all of these competitors, we sell more than just coffee. We are offering the opportunity for people who enjoy drinking great coffee to do so while benefiting others.
Like Nick said, we're going to sell our coffee to people who love drinking great coffee, but we have identified a target market. We specifically want to sell to Orange County coffee drinkers who are interested in outreach, charity, travel, and lifestyle brands. We're really encouraged by the statistic that of the roughly 3 million Orange County residents, last year alone donated $17.6 billion to charity. Our B2B, we're going to target individually owned or small chain coffee shops, and we're also going to try to sell to retail, artisan food retailers and those locally sourced restaurants that I was talking about earlier. We'll have 2 denominations of packaging. The first will be 13.5 ounce bags. We'll sell at $15 directly to consumers, and we'll sell to retailers for resale at $10 a bag. Our second denomination will be 5-pound bags at $60. We're going to sell these to the coffee shops and restaurants for them to brew and sell on a cup-by-cup basis. We're going to practice an omni-channel marketing strategy. This will allow us to engage our customers across a variety of platforms, such as our website, social media, print catalogs, and more, while maintaining a seamless brand throughout the whole experience. We're furthermore going to use a variety of distribution channels, such as our online retail portal, other online coffee wholesalers, artisan markets, restaurants, and the brick and mortar coffee shops.
As Ryan said before, we had the opportunity to travel the world together. Here's a picture of us in South Africa on a safari. Our strengths and our excellence as a team is built on our strengths as individuals. I'm Nicholas Bedell. As the head of roasting operations, I will ensure that each bag of coffee produces a cup to the quality that you've all tasted today. I have 2 years of roasting experience by hand with beans from over 10 different countries. I've worked a year and a half in coffee retail, and I'm a registered member of the Baristas Guild of America.
And I'm Ryan Buuck. I am the head of marketing and sales. It's my job to make sure that people drink the coffee that this guy roasts. I will have a degree in marketing with a minor in global studies just in a couple of weeks here. And to pad my stats a little bit more, I have done marketing and data analysis for 6 months at a Fortune 200 company.
And I'm Kenneth Reyes. I am the head of business operations. It's my job to make sure that our business is heading in the direction that we want it to go. I also will be graduating shortly with a degree in marketing and a minor in global studies. Additionally, I have worked 2 years for an Orange County startup. Moving on to our management gaps. Can you get the slides for me? We have identified that we are lacking in the areas of accounting, logistics, web development, and web development. As such, we have allocated expenses to pay for consultants in these specific areas. Additionally, we have assembled a board of advisors, a couple of whom are with us today, all of whom are successful entrepreneurs and will help to guide us throughout the entire process. Now, let's get to the numbers. Okay, here this bar graph has our revenue in blue, gross profit in red, and net income in green from our first 3 years of operations. Due to the scale of the graph, it appears that we have no net income in the first year. That's not true. We do, in fact, break even and have a slight income of $2,000. And you can see our net income increases exponentially in year 2. This is due to a projected increase in our B2B sales and the fact that our G&A expenses and cost of goods will be proportionally lower in year 2 compared to year 1, looking at a percentage of total revenue. Our net income also has a healthy growth of 17% moving into year 3. And we're happy to announce that this gives us a gross profit margin of 44% in year 2 and year 3. And as you can see, our sales are nearly $500,000 by the end of year 3. And it's very important to note that these net income figures are after our company has donated a combined $100,000 to charity over these 3 years. Moving on to the balance sheet, let's look at our starting balances. These are all based off of our projected startup costs, which I will cover in detail in just a moment. We also have healthy cash reserves in year 1 and year 2, as you can see. And by year 3, we have a significant amount of cash in the bank, which we intend to use to expand our business in year 4. Looking at assets, we will be renting space for at least the first 3 years of operations, which means our only fixed assets will be our roasting and packaging equipment. Moving on to cash flows. We are cash positive from operating activities specifically in year 1, which means that we are able to generate enough cash to maintain a healthy business. Looking at our significant cash in year 3, as we mentioned, we will use this to further our company by building up direct imports, which will require adding additional personnel with industry experience. We also may require additional production equipment at this point. And looking at year 1, we have $25,000 in long-term debt from our startup expenses. And these debts will be paid in full by the end of year 2. Finally, onto our startup expenses. Our total cost of startup is $30,000, $15,000 of which will be used to purchase startup equipment. This equipment will allow us to achieve the scale that we project through the end of year 3 without requiring additional capital investment. 17% of our initial investment will be put forth by the 3 of us, and we are asking for the remaining $25,000 from you. This will be repaid in full with a 10% annual interest by the end of year 2. Our sales forecasts are attainable. However, there is always a risk, right? That we might not be able to fulfill this. The demand for specialty coffee could diminish despite the National Coffee Association's predicted market increase. Fortunately, because our capital requirement is low and the majority of our assets are easily liquidated, we anticipate recovering 50% of the investment in a worst-case scenario situation.
Now that said, we are confident in the success of our business because we cater to market trends, we offer an excellent artisan product, and we have an unprecedented commitment to charity. We're asking for a $25,000 investment. Partner with us, and together we can reimagine the impact of coffee on local and global community. Thank you.